Alright, now what's up YouTube? It's your main man, AB the Hero, back again with another live stream. We in a little different location right now, coming to y'all live from Hilton Head, South Carolina. We about to get this thing jumped off. What I need y'all to do is go ahead and hit the like button as y'all coming in. If you're watching this later, hit the like button as well. Show some love, show some love. Go ahead to share too if you got to, if that's how you feeling at the moment. But it's your main man. We're gonna get into this whole thing. Cause last week, I'm gonna give y'all the quick recap, then we're gonna get into the updates on what's happening at the moment. So last week, my boy Lavar was on ESPN. He doing his typical Lavar thing, talking, you know what I'm saying, spilling that spill, giving that good information, talking about the Lakers, all of this stuff. Molly Qerim says, hey, could I switch gears? Take it the wrong way, blase, skip. All of that stuff go off. People jumping out the window. ESPN allegedly banning Lavar. I still think it's allegedly because I personally don't think that they actually was ever intending on banning him. They just said we don't have any plans to bring him up anytime soon, which makes sense. He was just there. He not like a regular like that. So I think that's what they were saying. I think the ban got interpreted the wrong way. But nonetheless, ESPN never came out to clear that up. So we just have to go with what information that we have now. Alright, so what we about to do is I'm gonna get into some new things. So then, alright, so that happened. Then the internet detectives got out here and they found a video clip of when Molly Qerim, when your boy Lavar was on First Take a while back, and the switching gears thing came up then, and everybody was cool with it then. So then I grabbed a quick clip, found it, went and then did some you know what I'm saying, editing magic on it myself, and then we came out with this thing. Bam, this clip here. Let's take a quick listen to it real fast.
Don't be rude. I am saying to you that you didn't have to come out with that statement like that towards the kids. If you can't afford it, you ain't a big baller. That was very rude.
That's
it was
not
very
to the
rude.
kids.
All right,
The
it was
parents
to the
gotta get
parents.
that. You already know.
Can we switch gears here? All right, so after this year, the Lakers need LeBron.
Go ahead
LeVar,
before I
have
get
a
back to him.
LeVar, can I switch gears with you because I have a question
You
here.
can switch gears with me anytime.
Let's stay focused here.
Go ahead.
All right. Can you please explain to
Come
me
on.
what the biggest? Can we switch gears here? All right.
Alright, so I know y'all seen that one already. So we're gonna step back from there for half a second, but let's get over here. Alright, so obviously the whole switch gears thing came up, and that video, I want to say to y'all, it did some numbers across the internet, you feel me? On this YouTube channel, it probably only hit about 8,000 or so at the moment, but I also put that thing over there on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, everywhere, and I seen it hit 1 million views on like at least 2 channels on on Twitter over there. On my channel, it's got like 300,000 views. So the word is spread out. A bunch of people hit me like, yo, we need to make sure this go. People need to know. And trust me and believe, the people know. On my channel on Facebook, if y'all know, go look up AB the Hero on Facebook. That thing, look up AB here on Facebook. It went over there to, I had about 100, 200,000 views on just my channel, and not counting how many people reposted it throughout Instagram and all of those things. So the word was out there. Now, I said in my last live stream that I don't know if people really gonna even respond, right? I could imagine that Jalen Rose was like, yo, I'm gonna step back, I'm gonna do my thing, I'm not gonna necessarily jump out the window on this one. My girl said that's how she felt, I'm gonna rock with it. I guess I missed it, but according to Jalen Rose, he responded right away on his Instagram and gave his input on it. People didn't see it, so he followed up. All right. Now, before that, also LeVar Ball came back and he gave his 2 cents on how he felt about, you know what I'm saying, being banned, I guess, from ESPN. And you know, LeVar, he typically, you're not finna tell him he can't go nowhere. He's been telling people for a long time he is his own boss. Let's check out the video from LeVar real fast if y'all haven't seen it yet. There we go, bam.
This past week, reportedly on ESPN, you were banned from all their platforms.
I'm gonna be banned. I don't work for them. I gotta be banned from ESPN. I got my own show.
Was your comment what was your comment? I mean, when they could switch gears at any time. I mean, we didn't see it.
I don't even have to respond to that on the fact that I meant no sexual intent or nothing on the fact that switch gears mean change topics to me.
Right.
Her mind in the gutter if she thinking something else. Only time I hit on her if she breaking in my house and I mistake her for the boogeyman.
Hey, I like it. This past week, reportedly on ESPN.
Hey, all right, so in perfect LeVar Ball fashion, he gave you what you wanted to know right there. He told you, you know what I'm saying? What I think is so funny to me is that he starts out with, I don't really got a comment on that, and then he goes ahead and gives you that comment on it. That's the type of thing when he said, you can switch gears anytime with me, that's exactly what he's talking about, because even when he don't want to comment on it, he gonna comment on it. That's just what LeVar do. I do also appreciate the fact that in typical, look, this is how you know LeVar is straightforward with things, and he not the person to jump out the window and say something crazy and to be like, no, that's not what I meant. If he was shooting a shot, he would have just said, man, shoot cute. He would have, because he follows up with the ideal of like, the only time I'd be hitting on her is if she was breaking in my house. Now, I say that to say, in this climate where folks is coming for his neck on being sexist and all of this stuff, the last thing that he was supposed to say is how he would be hitting on her physically. You know what I'm saying? But LeVar is going to be straight with you. He going to say what he say, and that's just a fact. All right, but now Jalen responded, and we're going to get into that video. But before we do that, I want to say one more time, make sure y'all smashing that like button as y'all come through here. And also, I'm going to give y'all some quick shout-outs to Goods. Always, you jumping in on the live streams right away. Lance Scott, we finna get into everything that happened. Low-key T, what is happening? Armand Rice, what's good? Yeah. All right, so there y'all go. If y'all in the comments, go ahead and make sure y'all put y'all input there. We're going to come back and we're going to address all of those comments as well. But now what I want to do is get into this video here from Jalen Rose, where Jalen Rose sits down on his Biggie Suge Knight vibe, feeling some type of way. Grown ass man, I'ma talk to y'all real fast. Ain't nobody gonna punk me vibe with my stunner shades on. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know how it goes down. I'm from the D. I'm surprised he wasn't wearing no buffs, you know what I'm saying, to really put on that Detroit vibe. But we finna get into this, and let me know, have y'all seen this video from Jalen Rose? I will say that in this video, I want y'all to be wary of this, is that I got in this video here, somehow there is the audio starts to be off on the sync. So it's probably not this live stream. If you start to hear some audio issues with this video, it's just the video is off a tad bit. So stick with it, you know what I'm saying? You can still get the gist. And I think that this video is 9 minutes, and we may watch the majority of it, but we're going to interact the same way to both of us, you know what I'm saying, and kind of go in on it. And I'm going to interject as I feel need be. And then y'all make sure y'all drop y'all comments in there, and we'll talk about it. And let me know if I need to pause it right there, because you know, we need to address something. But let's get into this, because I kind of can feel where Jalen is coming from with this. And if I had to guess how he would have responded to this incident, this is what I would have expected from Jalen Rose. Let's go.
What it do? What the business is? Shout out to the snowman. So I did this live previously, and sorry to those who got a chance to see it and feel like I'm doing and saying the same thing again, but I just not realized it in post. And I like to be 10 toes down. And I wanted just to make sure it lived on my feed. So if anybody wanted to grab it, any vlogs, any questions, any comments, they can make sure they had the facts accurate and not paraphrased.
There we go.
So again, I'm addressing the uncomfortable moment that my wife Molly had on television, LeVar Ball. Regardless of where you stand, you can feel that what he said was inappropriate. You can feel that she overreacted. however you feel. You're entitled to your opinion. But you know what you're not allowed to do is tell her how to feel. So if she felt some type of way about it at the moment, who are we to judge?
All right.
There are some people that...
I want to say this now. He said something important right there. A couple things. He said, if she felt some way about it at the moment. That's my only issue that I've had with Molly Qerim and this whole thing, is that I could understand if she felt some way about it at the moment. But once it's over and you realize that you may have went a little bit too far, or you was tripping just a little bit, then go ahead and pump the brakes on the whole situation. Don't jump out the window. Come back and then say, yo, you know what, I made a mistake. Just how once it happened, she expected to get a public apology right away. Hey, you know what, I would have appreciated if he would have, once she realized and had some conversations, and just come out and be like, you know what, I jumped the gun. I felt the way about it, and real fast, so I went out of hand. You know what I'm saying? I got out of hand. And I'm gonna get back to the video, but I'm gonna say this, because this happened to me the other day, and this made me think of this situation, right? I'm sitting on the couch with my lady, you know what I'm saying, and all of a sudden I see something run across the floor over there. Let me switch over to the view here. I'm sitting on the couch. I see something run across the floor. I start to moving. Whoa. She jump up. She's scared. She start to moving too. I look over. All it is the dog tail wagging, right? Now, I seen the dog tail wag. I thought it was some type of creature. I start freaking out. She start freaking out. Not because she seen it wagging or she felt some kind of way. Only simply because it was me. And now the dog is looking at us like, what is happening with y'all two? There's nothing going on. I'm so confused. And to me, and at that moment, I say, oh, shoot, my bad. There's nothing over there. But the dog, I had to let my girl know it's nothing over there. I'm just tripping. And I think that is what this situation was. Molly seen something. She seen the dog tail wag and thought it was a whole thing. She freaked Stephen A out. He thought he seen something too. And now all of a sudden, you got LeVar sitting there like, what the hell? Like, switching gears. And all it took was, you know what, my bad. Let's keep the movie rolling, because, you know what I'm saying, I thought it was a dog, but it really wasn't nothing. So let's get back over here. Let me see. Hey, let me know what was the comment about Anthony Davis. I haven't seen that, but we finna get back in here as well. She's supposed to be she said, all right, Jalen knows LeVar is not appealing to a woman, so oh, that's cold. She's supposed to be professional in the limelight. She can't handle criticism. Find another old school librarian face head. All right, let's get back into this Jalen Rose video. But let me know, somebody, make sure you put that in the comments, what she said about Anthony Davis.
Agree with her. There are some people that agree with him. Since that is my wife, and I'm going to be ride or die, since I have a lot of respect for LeVar, brought him on J&J, his talented son, Melo. He has 2 kids playing professional basketball. He's the CEO of a company. He's a husband. When the awkward exchange took place, you know what I did? I tried to be solution-oriented.
Bang, bang.
I text my wife, and I text LeVar that to leave a stain. Because however you view it, it still wasn't life or death. He and I played phone tag that day. I've texted him basically every day since then. I have not been able to track him down. He releases a statement. Of course, it's LeVar. He's unapologetic, and he probably feels he didn't do anything wrong. ESPN releases a statement condemning his verbiage. Molly talks to TMZ and they asked her a question about how do you feel about LeVar being banned? She clearly said, that's above my pay grade. I don't know anything about that. So for you fools out there that took this series of actions, when it happened, you either was riding with her or riding with him, or you didn't have an opinion. ESPN did a statement, LeVar did a statement, she talked on TMZ. It was, if I was Jalen, I would put my hands on him. I wouldn't let nobody disrespect my wife.
Come on, man.
If you were on his side is, oh, maybe she overreacted. But either way, you had a comment about it.
Of
Then
course.
it graduated to somebody saying that he got banned from ESPN. She and I didn't send no texts, no emails, no overtures to get anybody banned from ESPN, the company that we work for and don't own. Fools. We work there. We don't own the company. This man got 2 professional sons. You don't think he's going to be back on television with an opinion? You don't think he's going to be at the draft next year? You don't think he's going to be at Pelicans games? When Lonzo, the best thing that ever happened to him, by the way, is getting traded from LA. Ball's out this year. Who came up with...
Hey, so now, this is the thing that I appreciate about Jalen Rose. And I assume that he would take this approach. I feel like he honestly just giving you straight up facts. Like he letting you know this is somebody who is making sure his credentials and all of that stuff is still intact. Because he's saying, do I look like a snitch? You think that I'm the one who called up there and was like, yo, man, please, dog, don't let him come back. It ain't no thing. Like, we ain't finna do that. So he trying to save face here. He got his tough look going. You know what I'm saying? And I understand it. He not the dude who finna jump out the window and be like, bro, we finna go rah-rah. You don't talk to my girl like that. Because I feel like he also got enough sense to realize that it wasn't that much. But he also a stand-up dude enough to know he got to roll back with his girl. Now, make sure y'all hit the likes in here now. Make sure y'all go ahead and smack that boy as well. So, I like what he's saying. I appreciate his tone and how he addressing it, because for a dude like Jalen, I'm sure that this is a serious issue, because a lot of people, it got a lot further than just like whether or not he said something cool, whether or not he said something inappropriate, or LeVar stepped out of line. People started calling Jalen's character into question over this whole thing. And so I feel like it was necessary for him to say something. I felt like maybe the powers that be over at ESPN would be like, yo, don't talk about this. We're not going to bring it up. But I appreciate the fact that he said he wanted to have LeVar on the show. That was the point of him reaching out, like, yo, let's squash this live, which also showed you that the whole band thing was overblown as well. And I wouldn't be surprised if he don't end up on the show some point moving forward. Let me see what y'all talking about over here. Molly is an agent of chaos. She putting Jalen in an awkward position. I think that I wouldn't even say I can't give her the credit for putting him in an awkward position. I think that she probably got advised by a lot of folks not to address it. Don't talk about it. Stay out of it. You know what I'm saying? He definitely is put in an awkward position, but I don't know, man. It's a tough one. I don't necessarily want to throw any blame on your boy Jalen for this one, because I kind of understand where he's coming from. In that moment, I also could understand where Molly's come from, but I think that everybody else on the outside's reaction to it and how far they wanted to take it. I was on Twitter the other day. Some lady was telling me about this being a social injustice issue and how this was affecting the way the system was set up against women and all of this stuff. And I'm like, that's her life work. And I'm like, Ma, if you're a professional dealing with anti-violence. That's what she said. She said she was an anti-violence worker. So she speaks on these issues as her life work. And I'm saying, if you are a professional anti-violence worker, you have to be the voice of reason to come in and point out when something is that type of issue and in a serious injustice and when it's not. Because if you don't use your professionalism and your voice in that way, you tend to then let all of these other people jump out the window and start speaking, and they don't know what they talking about, and the shit go way left, as we seen with this. But let's see, man. Do y'all want to finish up watching this clip from Jalen? Let's go back into it.
With the term ban, not ESPN, definitely not Molly, and definitely not Jay. So then it went to, oh Molly, you got a black man banned from ESPN. Y'all know she's married to a black husband, right? She's covered the NFL, the NBA, college basketball, MMA. She's been doing this for 15.
Hey, now there's some clips of her covering the NFL that are a little suspect. I should have had those ready for y'all too, but I really didn't want to turn this into let's go crucify Molly Qerim. But if you go look up on the YouTubes, there's a clip of Molly and Terrell Davis where she in this dress, and she says she dressed like a liger, and he's asking her to hike the ball, and he going up underneath there, and that look a little bit suspect. You know what I'm saying? There's a couple instances, clips that people got pulled up on Molly where she interacting with folks in a way that is where they're interacting with her, obviously flirting and being extra, and their point is that she didn't respond the same way she did with LeVar Ball. But what I will say is that publicly, Molly's response was really just like the laugh and come on, let's keep it moving, or stay focused, guys. And then where she really messed up to me is when she came back on TMZ and didn't clear any of it up. And she talked about how she supported ESPN and they supported her. That's when she really started to look crazy. But she didn't really jump out the window on any of that. So we don't know if in any of those other situations she really if she handled it similarly or whatnot, and people just didn't blow it out of proportion, because this thing is so big, not necessarily because she was going so hard, but because of the climate that we living in, where any type of like smirk can come off like you trying to do way too much. So you got to really walk on eggshells when it comes to stuff like that. Why is Jalen voice cracking? Jalen voice cracking because I'm upset a little bit, man. I had to wear my glasses because I'm teared up behind here. Y'all really calling my heart into question. I'm from Detroit. You know what I'm saying? Respect, though. You ride with your wife no matter what. And I dig that. I'm with that whole situation. ESPN loves to shoot themselves in the foot. They do. They jump all the way out the window. Michael Martin, go mob. What's happening, my guy? Going at LeVar for the sake of ratings. That's a fact. The tough part is, if this was really for ratings, then they would be following up with this topic every day. They haven't really discussed it much. Some people feel like this was actually a way to deviate from the LeVar Ball business, but you know what I'm saying? Who knows? Let's check back. Let's get back into this video.
15 years. She know how to navigate. She know how to take care of herself.
Bang, bang.
Somebody pays her to talk about sports. She's a vet. So this idea that she woke up that morning and like, oh, I'm going to see what I can do to try to trap LeVar. It didn't have nothing to do with his race. Fools. He could have been any color. If she felt some type of way about what he said, then she felt some type of way about what he said. And you know what? I'm riding with her.
Man.
I text him. I text her when it happened.
See, that right there was when I said there was a bit of a lag. I wish that it was synced up so we could see him snatch the glasses off and say, I'm riding with her the right way. But it's a bit off sync just on the upload, not necessarily on the stream at the moment. I'm riding with her, right or wrong.
To try to squash it. Because that's what I do. I'm solution oriented.
Bang, bang.
And I didn't think it was life or death.
That's
and
a
you know why else
factamundo.
I was calling LeVar idiots to have him come on Jalen and Jacoby to talk about it. So this idea that, oh, he got banned from ESPN and it's her fault initially because she got a black man banned from ESPN. She's so insensitive. To now, like Jeezy said, if you get jammed up, don't mention mine.
Hey, here's what I will say, is that to me, it's not necessarily about the fact. I think there is a racial component about this, and that's why a lot of folks was jumping out the window, is because there is a racial component. To me, it's not about like, yo, she got a black man banned from ESPN. It's more about the ideal that as black men, we have been dealing with this like image of being hypersexual, especially when it comes to fair-skinned women, that like we just can't control ourselves, and we see them and it's like, oh my god, I want to, and this and that, and like that's the same story, right? And then so I had this conversation with somebody on Twitter, the same person, where while it feels like everybody's coming to defense of this like woman who's helpless and he shouldn't have done this, to a lot of people it also feels like stories like Emmett Till, where, and I'm not comparing LeVar Ball in this situation to Emmett Till, that's another level, but I'm just saying that it feels like in history where you have this ideal of, oh my god, he looked at me, and then all of a sudden the lynch mob is out to come get this dude and we need to ban him and end this whole thing. And I know that there's been a lot of things being uncovered in this moment that the Me Too movement and all the stuff that's being dealt with right now. So everything feels like it could be something remotely in that vein. So we need to address it because we don't want this to come up 15 years from now. We like, remember that time LeVar said this on ESPN, nobody did nothing? But everything is not that. But I think that it's important to keep it into context that like, it's not just about like, oh, she got a black man banned. It's about how that looks to everybody. It's about the system. It's about what the image that continues to perpetuate, that this married man is up there and he can't help but to shoot his shot on national television, knowing that his kids is watching, his wife watching, grandma, granddad, and all of that stuff because Molly just so cute. And so I think that's what that to me was the issue. As a black woman, it's some BS. How is let's switch gears a sexual remark? It means what it means. And that's just, at the end of the day, it's really just that simple. Is that nobody outside of that one moment is ever like, girl, let's switch some gears together. No, I had never heard that ever. So it's one of those things where context matters, but it's hard to find a context where let's switch gears is hella overtly sexual. So we'll see, man. Let's check this out. Let's get back into it.
Name. Now all of a sudden I'm pulled into it, and not only did I pull the strings to get him banned, but then take it the next step. Jalen, how you gonna do that to another black man?
Come on, man. I didn't say that.
First off, most of you young punks can never question what I've given to the culture.
Bang, bang. Talk about it.
Get your weight up. What you sacrificing? How much your time, your energy,
Bang,
your
bang.
money that you giving back before you ever come talk to me and question my contributions to the culture. They go unquestioned.
They go unquestioned.
When you start making a list of people who gave their blood, sweat, and tears to the culture,
I want to put some shades
I
on
better
so
be
bad.
on the list. So this idea that we got him banned from ESPN, It's foolish.
Foolish.
So I just wanted to take this time, this moment, to spit on IG Live, because I didn't want to send a tweet, I didn't want to send a post, because they get twisted. I wanted you to see my face and hear my voice. That's what I gotta say about the LeVar situation.
That's what I gotta say about it. Like I said, man, I appreciate Jalen for even taking the time to respond to this whole situation, because it to me is very important that he added his voice to this conversation, because like he went on to in part of his rant, he is respected. People do understand the things that he has done for the community and the work that he's put in. So for him to go silent on this when it does have so many different like implications into this situation, there's so many different voices in it and people wanting to know exactly how he feels about it, for him to just not have an opinion, especially when it's concerning his wife being disrespected, and people feel that's one of the questions that I was getting too. People was like, yo, so you mean to tell me if it was your sister or if that was your wife, you wouldn't necessarily be upset or pissed off a little bit? And I'm like, nah, man. And here's the thing, is that even if he was really shooting his shot, it wouldn't send me into no tizzy either way, because if it's my wife, then I know she ain't finna, she gonna shoot it, he gonna shoot his shot and she gonna Kimbe Matumbo that thing anyway. So I'm not finna jump out the gym. Now, the ideal that is hella inappropriate and oh my God, it's just a sexual whoa. It's just, to me, I understand that in a way, but also I get that human nature is men and women interacting in a way where we're exploring each other's boundaries at times, you know what I'm saying? So I think that that's a tough thing. One of the other things that I was thinking about, because this came up a lot, is this ideal of you can't tell somebody how they should feel or how they should interpret something, and if somebody's offended, then they have the right to be offended, and you can't have an opinion on how you feel like they shouldn't or should be offended by it. And to me, it's tough for me to 1000% agree with that. I do agree that you have the ability to feel however you want to feel. I also believe that it's tough to just give people the pass to feel however you want to feel based on whatever is happening, right? Because there was a point where in this similar conversation, when men would talk about women and how they would dress. So there was this ideal that because a woman was dressed a certain way, men at a certain point in time felt like that gave them privilege, or they felt like she was dressed that way, so then it made me feel something like I wanted to shoot a shot or whatnot. And to me, that wasn't right then. It wasn't like, yo, you came to work in this dress and then all of a sudden I got a little excited, so I thought you was trying to come on a little bit, and I was interpreting that as you giving me a go ahead. And I feel like it's the flip of this situation, and obviously it's not that extreme, but you can see how if how I talk is playful and you say something, I'm gonna give it to you back, and then that turns into me being hella inappropriate because that's just how I carry myself, and I'm ready to switch gears anytime you ready to switch gears. Then I feel like you can see how, like, as a woman, you want to have the right to be able to put on whatever clothes you want to put on or whatever. And then I can see how as a man, especially LeVar, you don't want to have to, like, because this is what people were splitting hairs when they talk about this conversation. The issue was that he said anytime. it wasn't that he said that they could switch gears. It was that he said anytime, or he said you, and instead of saying you, he should have said. And it's this ideal of like, in order to have a conversation with Molly Qerim or a woman, you need to be extremely precise about the words that you use, because if you add any time, or if you say we and you and I, and make it a personal conversation, that it could be taken to some kind of way, then I feel like that's not where we want things to go. I think that there is some issues that are circulating around this like dynamics between men and women that should be addressed, but I also feel like that is not the solution. That, you know what, you should be able to feel however you should want to feel, and if I do something that I didn't intend to make you feel that way, then I'm supposed to bear all of the consequences of it. One of the things that I always tell my son, he plays basketball, and he's one of those kids who he can dish it out, but he can't take it. He'll talk, if he winning, he'll talk trash all day and all night to you. If he's losing and you start to talk trash, he going off the rail. I can't play with them. They a cheater. They this, they that, and they that. And the conversation that I always have with him is, if you're in an environment where you feel uncomfortable and you can't control how people treat you, the only thing that you can control in that situation is yourself. So I feel like if you are Molly Qerim, or if you are anybody, and you find yourself in a situation that's awkward and upsetting, then all you got to do is remove yourself from that situation, because you relying on somebody else to find the exact words to make you feel better or safe or all of this stuff is a long shot. You know what I'm saying? And as you can see, especially when you got a guy like LeVar, who his response was, the only time I was hitting on Molly is if she come through the door. We just see that situation can be crazy, man. It's a situation like this that Channel Fiend says, it's a situation. Let me go. I'm gonna try to get to this chat. Alright, here we go. Man, it's sometimes this thing here be trying to mess up a little bit, man. There it is. There we go. Alright, so let's see. Channel Fiend says it's a situation like this that pushed women out of men's locker rooms and had the players looking guilty for doing what they do in their own dang locker room. I could foresee that, where you think about being a female reporter, and then all of a sudden you over there trying to take a shower, and it's like, oh, he took his towel off while I was standing. I see that. That's an occurrence in history. This is why the so-called black man needs to be economically and financially independent, so someone like Molly can't destroy you with chaos. I will say that this, man, it is a situation where Molly definitely deserves some credit for starting this conversation, or her initial reaction, and to me for not like clearing it up, for sure. But I think that this is bigger than just her. It's a system of things. This is like ESPN jumps out the window and they release a statement. It was completely inappropriate, and to me that's where it get to be overkill, is that yes, she may have felt uncomfortable, and I believe that if she felt uncomfortable, she had all within her right to express her discomfort. I just think that then there's a conversation that needs to be had. But now, instead of having a conversation, we go from I'm uncomfortable to now I'm releasing a statement, now I'm banning, now I'm this, and it just shoot off. And then all of a sudden we go back and have a conversation after everybody done shot up the whole saloon. Pow, 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 shots been fired everywhere, everybody hit, and they like, man, why we shooting each other for? And then they like, oh, well, you said the thing. It was like, man, that's not what I meant. I told you I was gonna get some water, and you like, no, you didn't say water. You said you was gonna fire this thing up, and I said, no, man, y'all get what I'm saying, man. It's just what that is, man. It's a good thing Big Baller independent. And that's also a factor of one of the conversations that LeVar always have when he go on them shows is everybody in here got a boss but me. And this is the thing that I feel like I wish the Big Baller brand did a better job of, is exercising a platform. So LeVar Ball has a voice that like doesn't necessarily need ESPN to be heard. He got 1 million followers. Melo got 3, 4. Lonzo got this. They got the Big Baller brands. He, without having to touch ESPN, could get on any platform and give you information about this whole situation. Some random dude who you never heard of did a small 45-second interview with him about this, and it took off. He could have sat down in his Big Baller estate and then gave you the same video through his own platform and then disperse that information. So I think that that's something that they could do, is not only be like the sports apparel, but he got a voice to where they could also have like a media company, you know what I'm saying, where they are giving content in that way and just controlling the narrative of everything that happens with them. So let's see. But I think, man, we're gonna start wrapping this thing up here. Make sure y'all hit the like button, man. We want to get this video to 100 likes, man. Go ahead and smash it if y'all can. It's your main man, AB the Hero, coming to y'all live. We in a different spot. We Hilton Head, South Carolina. Man, we out here at the pool playing some tennis on the beach, just kind of taking a small little vacay. And despite that, I felt like I had to come through here and drop some content for y'all. I also have some other videos I need to get to y'all too. I got a Zion Williamson video that I need to do. I also want to do a video about these NBA awards as well. Wolf Scribe, what's up? Jeremy Ferris, what's good? Joining in here. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Let's get it to 100 likes. And so I got some stuff I want to talk to y'all about, because and I'll just give y'all some quick excerpts real fast before we get out of here. You've seen the NBA awards, right? Now you've seen the MVP, Giannis Antetokounmpo from Greece, Luka Doncic from Spain and wherever he's from over there, Europe, you know what I'm saying? Rookie of the Year, Rudy Gobert, Defensive Player of the Year from France. Who else got these? Player of the Year, Pascal Siakam from Africa, Sudan, somewhere there. So you got the 4 international folks right there with some of the top awards in the NBA. Channel Fiend say post those videos. AB, they coming. And then also the team who wins the NBA trophy, the championship trophy, is from Toronto. So you can see how international basketball is taking over the NBA. And then to even go back, the Coach of the Year, Buchenhauser. And if you really look at his stuff, he got some really interesting stuff happening where somehow he played professional basketball after playing college, played pro ball in Denmark for a couple years, and then coached for a couple years, and then all of a sudden got a job with the Spurs. So you can see how Cameroon. So international basketball is starting to affect the NBA in a big way. And in one of my videos, I really want to get into that whole storyline, and then so we could talk about how that affects guys like Melo, R.J. Hampton, the Bowens, Brian Bowen, who just got into playing for the Pacers now from being overseas. So we gonna talk about that stuff. The Lakers got some things going, so all of those things we gonna really get into. But man, make sure y'all hit that like button, man. It's about 50 of y'all in here right now. It's only 37 likes. That means somebody ain't hit it yet. Let's go. Africa about to take over. And man, Africa right now, Europe trying to run with this thing, but you got it's a lot of folks, man. But it's your main man, AB the Hero. We finna get out of here, man. I appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with me for the stream. We got more content coming for y'all, man. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe to the video, and come back, hit that notification bell if you ain't hit it yet, and we gonna get it going.